Yeah, this thing is crazy.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
All right. We are now, it used to say on the record, but now I see it just says recording. All right. Welcome everybody to the Get Shit Done show with Desiree Wolfe. I am your host, Desiree Wolfe. This is kind of a rapid fire 30-minute blab where I invite some of my most favorite entrepreneurs to come talk about productivity, running a business and really just getting shit done and how to have a entrepreneur mindset. I am a small business success strategist. So strategies, productivity, mindset, those are all some of my favorite things to talk about, which is why I invited Maria Jackson, who is our guest today. Hello. Maria is one of my most favorite people on the face of the earth.
Aww.
She is a direct sales consultant, and you've been with your company for 14 years? 13 years. Oh, my goodness. She has a $1 Million Club team, and she is just a freaking rock star. She's a major ass kicker, and I just love her to death. You're also a busy mom to 3 kids, 2 who live at home, and they are very active. So we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. And
Sorry
the big
thing,
thing,
my dog tail.
Oh, I love him. And one of the big things that I wanted to talk to you about today is having purpose in your business, because you are really involved in your church and the annual mission that you guys do every year. So I want to talk about that as well. So Maria, just give us a quick shout out and tell us who you are and the company that you're with and all that good stuff.
Well, I think you just told them who I am. But I'm Maria Jackson, and I'm with Passion Parties. Yeah, okay, the camera's up there. I've been with the company for 13 years, going on my 11th year in the $1 Million Club.
That's awesome.
And I love what I do. I can't see myself doing anything else, and I think that's what gives me the opportunity to do the things that I do with the kids and for the church. So.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about some of the accomplishments, because you're also a national trainer with the company. You've gone on trips. Tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that you've accomplished with that.
I am a national trainer, which is a certification program that corporate puts you through. And so I can travel around and do trainings for new consultants, new leaders. And then, with the $1 Million Club, I've gone on a few trips to, places like Bermuda and New York and stuff. And I also am a car award achiever. So I get money every month for my car payment. And I've been very, very fortunate. But it's not me, it's my team. So
yeah. Well, you know what? I actually have that in my notes to ask you about, because you've got a good sized team. So, before we jump into your church mission and the purpose for your business, tell us a little about how you kind of juggle all of it, because your kids are pretty active. And, I know we've both had some crazy breakdown moments together, but you also managed to get a ton of shit done, sitting at swim meets and, all of that. So how do you juggle all of that and try and stay on top of it?
Well, I think that's what, you just at practice and things like that. I mean, that's a perfect opportunity. Your kids are occupied, so they're not going to need you. So, during that time is when, we have conference calls, or that's when I host as coach, or, talk to some of my team members. So I definitely take advantage of that time, but I also take advantage of the fact that I'm around all these other moms.
Nice.
So that's a good way to promote your business as well. So like I said, I've been very fortunate, and I have very supportive moms, should I say, on the teams and stuff. So you just have to make use of the time when you have it. So
right. Yeah. I remember when Jordan, my daughter, she was in cheerleading, and I was constantly sitting there. I'd have my notepad and my iPhone with me while she was doing practice, and I was zooming through, and it's amazing how much you can get done because you don't have all the other distractions of being at home.
Right. And they're not fighting, and they're not, all up in your business. Yeah, exactly. For sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about having purpose. And I thought you were a perfect guest for this, because when I worked with you through Passion Parties, this was actually one of the questions that you brought up to me. And so you said, you know, and of course I'm paraphrasing because this was several years ago.
Well, I was
you had
saying,
said,
the fact that you remember.
Yeah. Well, you had told me, you said, you know, being in business, yes, it's great to make money, but when you're passionate and have a purpose for running your business, it actually stays fun and you want to keep doing it, even when sales are down or, you know, things are slow, the calendar looks empty.
Right.
So talk to me a little bit about that whole concept of having purpose in your business.
Well, I think it's just you have to have something that drives you, you know, and for me, a big part of that is the change and the change we can help or make in women, not just financially, but, you know, with my product line, you know, personally and in their marriages. So for me, my purpose is just to make communication within relationships a lot stronger, and just give women the opportunity to do things that they never thought they could do, especially, you know, that part, especially financially.
Yeah.
So,
and then how does that play into kind of how you do business? Because a big part of your audience is, you know, the married women,
right?
They've been in long-term relationships. And so how do you incorporate, you know, this passion that you have to helping them? How do you bring that into your business, knowing that it's going to make a difference? So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, for those of you who don't know, Maria mentioned she's with Passion Party. So she sells, you know, adult toys, bedroom communication stuff.
Right.
So tell me how you make that transition from going from beyond, I want to sell this type of product to I want to make a difference. When did that click for you that this is what you were doing?
You know, I think that clicked pretty quickly because, you know, one of my very first parties, I remember there was a woman there that had kind of done that for me because she was really, I guess, you know, she didn't know what her body was capable of doing, and that she didn't know that she could open these lines of communication. So when we had talked for a while and what a difference it's made in her, then, you know, I realized, wow, this is really powerful. I can really make a difference doing this. And then as far as like my team goes, when I had a leader on my team who had 3 kids and she was a single mom and she was able to buy her first house, you know, from doing this business. And so that just seeing the changes that I've made, I mean, not I've made, but this business has made in people has just been incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, let's talk about how you have brought your business into the church, because you're very involved in your church. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit about, I know what you do every year. So why don't you tell everybody else what you do and how that works with your business and the business model that you have?
Well, you know, we are very active in the church, like on a regular basis, you know, throughout the year. But one thing that we do every year is go on a week-long mission trip to Mexico, where we do a vacation Bible school for the migrant camp children, and we also do stuff down there for the missionaries. But you know, how I incorporate that is, well, I guess you could say that I'm able to take that time. Any other job, I don't, you know, it's not that flexible, so you can do that. I support the church even with my business in that I am able to donate a lot of money to them for this whole thing. And, you know, and I also have a very supportive church. I mean, everybody knows what I do. And in fact, my pastor thinks what I do is pretty amazing. So yeah, I mean, cause it is about healthy relationships. It's about keeping the marriages together. Yeah. And that's the angle I go at. I don't go for the, you know, oh, we're 20 somethings and let's have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really focus on the marriages and the couples, and they're trying to just, because, you know, growing up, I didn't know those lines were even possible. So,
right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. I think we live kind of, you know, not to get all philosophical and stuff. I think we kind of live in this society where divorce has become okay.
Right.
It's become the norm to hear, oh, you know, I've got some friends who've only been married 3 or 4 years and they're getting a divorce. You know, or you even hear people who have been married a long time, oh, they're getting a divorce. And I think, you know, what you're doing, I think it's huge because you're bringing the communication back to the relationship. Right. And from what I've seen, that is your kind of your personal mission for your business. Yeah. So I can see why the church, is on board. And I think that's awesome because a lot of times, especially in this business, you get that, you get that riff in that gray area.
You get that.
So yeah, it's great that the church can help support you because you are right in line with the whole happy family and keeping the sanctity of marriage together. And I think that's pretty awesome.
Well, and I don't think that's anything that, like when I was growing up, that was something that wasn't really talked about. You don't talk about that stuff. And I think that's what leads, people down the dark path. So
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I think there was some statistic that I read that, you ask a bunch of people, what do you think the number one cause of divorce is? And a lot of times the top things that they say it's either cheating or fighting over money. And it's really lack of communication is the problem for both of those things.
Right.
So if you find a way that you can communicate, whether it's inside of the bedroom, outside of the bedroom, or just at all, I think that makes a huge difference. Well,
and the other fact, or the other part of it too, is that a lot of women aren't really aware of what their bodies are capable of either. Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many women I've come across that just didn't even know certain things were possible. So I think you need to know your body before you can know your relationship.
Yeah. It's kind of like you have to love yourself, know, in both senses. You have to love your body physically and you have to love yourself. And then it's easier to open up and have somebody else love you. So what are some of the ways, because I know that I've seen you actually earn money to put towards your mission through your business. What are some of the ways that you've done that? I think you've done raffles, you've done where you donated portions of your party proceeds. What are some of the ways that you've kind of given back through your business?
Well, I think it's just that I've done, like I said, I've done raffles. I've donated product to, gift baskets, to auctions. In fact, I just did another one last week to a different church. But, just fundraising in that way. That's pretty much it.
How do you think that makes a difference in somebody's business? That giving back through your business. You know what? It
feels good, and it. On a selfish side, you're promoting yourself.
Right.
but
I call that marketing.
Right. It's a shameless plug.
Yes.
But, and it's quite funny actually, because I've had, at one of the auctions, I actually had this older couple and this younger couple like battling over my basket. It was really funny. But yeah, it feels good. It feels good to know that I can give back, especially for me, this mission is very personal because, I come from a migrant family. So that's where it's very personal for me.
How, and that actually brings me to my next question is, how does somebody decide how they want to give back? I mean, do you think it has to tie into your business somehow? Do you think,
no.
Because I know there's a lot of Passion Parties consultants who give back to, women's shelters or sexual abuse survivors, because it's the base. But how do you decide what you want to give back to?
Well, I think it's what's important to you. I mean, you just have to decide what's important to you because, all those organizations will take it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But, and you have to find something that's going to drive you. So what might be right for me is not going to be right for anybody, somebody else. That's for sure.
Right.
I've also done some stuff for, because I had open heart surgery when I was a kid. So I've donated stuff, in that area too.
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on the head is it feels good.
It feels good. Yeah.
You have to do what feels good. So if you have a something that is close to your heart, maybe you've got, a child with autism or, maybe, someone with dyslexia. I think that kind of ties into, that goes right along with the passion for your business.
Right.
If you have something that you're passionate about, how can you bring the two together in your life?
I think it's pretty easy. I think it's really easy to bring things that you really care about together like that. And just, you need to give. I feel it's so important because if you don't give, I just think it's really selfish. And, I mean, we all need help sometimes, so as much as I can do, I will do.
Yeah, I'm on a big Tony Robbins kick right now. I've got I know, right? But I've got 2 or 3 quick YouTube videos that I'm constantly listening to, like when I'm in the bathroom, putting my makeup on and stuff like that.
Wow, I'm surprised you haven't sent them to me yet.
Oh, they're on their way. But one of the things that he constantly talks about, and he compares it to, tithing with the church,
right,
is giving back 10% of whatever it is you make.
Right.
And how it's important, not just, to the church, but because it gives you, it gets you in the habit of making sure that you give. And there's a whole bunch of very successful people out there that believe when you give, you get back.
Absolutely.
It's the whole karma and energy thing. And I think that really ties into business too. And some of the most successful people that I've seen in any industry have that relationship with not being able or not being afraid of giving.
Right. And I think it also sets a good example for your kids.
Yeah.
So, if they see that, then that's something that, hopefully they can grasp onto too. So, yeah.
I think so too. Well, and it sets up, one of the things that he talks about, one of the things Tony Robbins says is he said, it's just, he says he hears people say, oh, when I make X amount of money, I'll start giving.
Yes.
And he says it's a lot easier to give 10% of $1,000 than 10% of $1 million.
Right. That's just like saying you're going to wait to have a kid until you have money. You know what I mean?
Right. Or until you're ready. Because let me tell you, you're never ready.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree. Hey, Monica Ramos just joined us. She's Monica is an amazing social media queen, but she's also a brain trainer. So I love having Monica on. So, hey, Monica, thank you for joining us. For those of us just signing in, because I see a couple other people joining us, this is the Get Shit Done show with Desiree Wolfe. I'm Desiree Wolfe. And our guest host today is Monica Jackson. She is
I'm Maria Jackson.
Oh, did I say Monica?
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm looking at Monica's picture right now. And Monica Jackson is actually the name of a newscaster here in town. So I just put all the names together. Yeah, don't you love when you're live and you get people's names wrong? All right, we have Maria Jackson here on the Get Shit Done show, and we were talking about having a business with purpose and why it's important to give back through your business and how you can do that. And it actually leads to being productive, which we mentioned earlier. I'm not going to ask you about your productivity secrets. Trust me, I've been in your office. But it when you give back, it does put your name out there, and it is marketing for your business. So it really is twofold. And I think it actually does help your business grow on multiple levels when you're not afraid to give back.
Right.
So, yeah. So tell me, because you get the whole family involved, not just when you go on your mission, but really as part of your business too. Tell me why that's important to have your family involved when you're doing a home-based business.
So you can work.
Yeah.
No. I think it's important. I mean, you support each other. I just feel like you have to get your family on board, and they need to be supportive. And I think it just makes things so much easier. And sometimes they don't like it, but that's the way it is. And it also I think it sets an example for my kids that I'm able to be there for all their stuff. Sometimes I don't want to be, but I'm able to be there for them. And it just, if they support me, then I can support them. So that's, again, another little selfish plug, but whatever.
Well, you know what? I think it all ties back into each other.
Exactly.
If you've got the support of your family, you can work on your business.
Exactly.
And while that sounds like it might seem selfish, think about how your business then in turns supports your family.
Correct.
It'd be pretty rough if you had to go back to, a regular 40 to 60 hour a week right now.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
Somebody else. Yeah.
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 Well, and especially because of, my husband's work schedule, I need to be here. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why I think, having a home-based business that's why I love this industry, the direct sales industry specifically. Right. Because it can, give you the flexibility that you need. Right. And like Monica said, you can
I saw that.
to help you, and it's a tax write-off. So absolutely, you can. But
that means
tap on stickers and that kind of stuff.
But they have to actually work. They can't just sit there and argue with you the whole time.
Yes, exactly. Well, you've got kids that are entering the argue stage. So.
Oh God, don't they ever? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when Jordan was younger, and her favorite thing to do was slap on stickers on the back of catalogs.
Right. Well, and they would help make samples for me, but then my oldest daughter, she finally, it kept giving her headaches. So she's like, she couldn't do it anymore. So
that's so funny. Well, and another thing, with having your family on board with your business, like your husband, Chris, is a great cheerleader, and he's even got, when he's at the restaurant, he even can book parties for you and gets customers for you. Yep. And so I think that's pretty important too. And that helps you build your business because your whole family is, you're all part of the team. Yeah. So I think that.
Did he pay you to start talking?
He didn't pay me, actually. We have just a few minutes left. So there's a couple questions that I want to ask you, and then I'm going to put you on the spot. So don't kill me. Okay. The first question is, what is your number one tip for somebody who is brand new in business? And it can be any tip, any business tip.
Put systems into place from the beginning. That just got you, right?
Yes, you just made me a happy girl.
I know. Well, because it's so much easier to actually have a system in place when you're 2-3 years down the road than trying to recreate it at that point. So put systems into place, meaning your contact system, your pipeline system, just everything.
Yeah.
Your taxes.
Amen to that.
Yep.
Amen to that.
Yep.
Awesome. So systems are my favorite thing. What is one thing you wish someone had specifically told you when you started your business besides the systems? What do you wish someone said, you know what, Maria, if you do this or think like this, it's going to change everything?
I think it's just the whole, just know you can, the whole self-doubt thing. A lot of times as you're coming, you're building, things aren't always going to go right. And instead of, tearing yourself down, just know that you can do it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that just for a minute, because, we have a few more minutes and I want to talk about that because I think that's a huge thing, especially for women in business. And especially women who work at home and we're kind of by ourselves, so when the self-doubt starts to creep in, there's nobody we can turn to and say, hey, I think I'm doing a really shitty job.
Right.
And they, if we say that to ourselves, and Monica can probably chime in here, that reticular activating system in our brain is going to say, yeah, you are doing a really shitty job.
Yeah.
And then the next thing we know is we're sitting there crying.
Right. So
what do you suggest when that kind of self-doubt starts to creep in? What's something that we can do?
I'm still working on that one. I think you just need to put yourself back to when you did feel good. I think that it's just really, you're your own worst critic, and I'm preaching to the choir, but it's not an easy thing to get over, but you just have to know. You just have to believe. Yeah.
I think that's huge too. And you know what? Phone a friend. Call in that feeling of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. When you start to feel shitty, pick up the phone and call a friend who isn't going to bring you down the dark hole with them.
Right. And that's exactly it too, because you tend to call the people that are just going to go right along with you. So you have to be cautious of that. Yeah. So I usually call you and you tell me how stupid I'm being, and then we're all good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we pick each other right back up. We bitch for a few minutes and then move on.
And then we move on. So
that's exactly how you got to do it. Yep. Awesome. Okay, and let's see. What's your favorite swear word? That's my question that I got to ask everybody.
I know, and I drop the F-bomb all the time.
Yeah.
My kid even said it at preschool. So
nice.
I had to watch that.
My 2-year-old, who he's going to be 3 soon, actually, he reminds us when we say fuck, he says, no fuck, say shoot. So we're even getting schooled by the 3-year-old to watch our mouths. So, but you know what? I don't watch my mouth very often. So what are you going to do?
I know, exactly. And it's funny when people come over to my house and they cuss, or, they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like,
oh yeah.
And then Emily will go, you know who my mom is, right?
Yeah, we go through the same thing.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, Maria, thank you so much. We have just a few more moments, and I just wanted to thank you for being here. And you actually have a special offer for the audience members. So tell us about that.
Okay, so because I know you like yourself so much, I made the discount code Desiree.
Yay!
So if you go to my website, it's
which is
mariaspassion.com. Go ahead.
I'm going to type it in the show notes as you're talking.
Okay. And then everything is 30% off.
Everything.
Get
out of here. Yes. And what's that code again?
Your name.
Is it all uppercase or lowercase? Uppercase? Does it matter?
I don't think it matters, but do it all uppercase just in case, because that's how I created it.
Awesome. I'm putting this in the show notes. Thank you so much. It's very generous.
Are bad. I'm going tomorrow.
Yeah, because you moved your appointment so you could do this Blab with me today.
Right, which I had already moved because of all those flights that got canceled on Monday to take all the girls back, or whatever day that was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do a retreat with you do a couple of them. And do you guys just spend a couple of days of just being awesome masterminds together?
Well, I do it with my my upline Tammy Quilcy, and then a few other leaders on the team, Jody and Zoraida and Jen, and we bring in leaders from all over Canada, all over the U.S., and we actually just lock down. We're on lockdown, and we do trainings for 2 days, and just a lot of team building and a lot of bonding. It's we look forward to this every year. So,
and you guys get major shit done.
We do. You would be very proud.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And one year I'm actually going to come join you.
Yes.
I think it would be awesome.
I think you should.
Yeah. I think masterminds are important. Retreats are important, especially when you have that team culture. I think it's important that the team is kind of on the same page and you're all moving in the same direction.
Well, and it's a good way to, especially after a year, it's been a year, we're kind of starting to get a little, things are getting mundane or whatever. It's just kind of a good re-energizer. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Maria, for joining me. This is always fun.
Thank you for getting over my fear of video stuff.
Yes, look, you did it.
I did it.
Your first Blab is done.
Yes.
The first is the most nerve-wracking.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, but they're lots of fun. Blab, I think, is my new addiction, and Monica can probably attest to this because Monica's actually the one that. Yeah, Monica's actually the one that I saw her doing it, and I was like, oh, Monica's doing a Blab. I'm going to go do Blab, and now her and I did one together, and now I'm totally addicted. So thanks a lot, Monica, for that. All right, thank you, everybody. This has been the Get Shit Done Show with Desiree Wolfe and our special co-host Maria Jackson.
Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. The replay will be available later this afternoon for anybody who may have missed it. You can find me online at DesireeWolfe.com or over on Facebook at Facebook.com/TheDesireeWolfe. All right, everybody, go get some major shit done today, and I will see you in the online world.
And happy holidays.
Everybody. Happy holidays, yes.
Bye.
Bye.